I hate fishing. I hate fishing. It's one of the most boring and repetitive skills in the game. But how could we make fishing a better experience? Well, what if they combined the fishing and foraging updates? So we could have two sections of an island. First, the main foraging island, which the devs are already working on, and the flooded caves. The flooded caves are a network of caves that are partially underwater and are made to make fishing a more efficient and enjoyable experience. First of all, there would be a skill tree similar to that of the Heart of the Mountain tree. As you get higher tiers, you gain access to the deeper parts of the flooded caves. And the deeper you go, the more the flooding in the flooded caves gets worse. You also get access to new mobs, resources, and bosses. The resources that you can normally get from fishing will be a lot faster to get in the flooded caves, like the clay, lily pad, and sponges, along with actually granting you fishing XP when you collect them, such as in the first tier area, an area where you can farm lily pads, which give a small amount of XP when you break them, along with low level mobs, such as the squid and sea walkers, which also drop their normal drops, along with slightly lower fishing XP than you'd get if you had fished them up. The second tier area is very similar to the first, but you can get more resources like clay. The third tier area gets a little more interesting, with more mobs similar to the sea witch and sea archer, but there's a new resource that spawns in here, glowing moss. It can be used as a crafting material to craft a new talisman, the cave talisman, which gives you a little bit of fishing speed when you're underground. The fourth tier area grants you access to a new location and a new boss. Here in the fourth tier area, you can find the Forgotten Monument, which is a labyrinth-like monument structure, which is where you can fight sea guardians and guardian defenders, harvest patches of sponge, and deep within the labyrinth, you can find a new Elder Guardian boss that will have some more unique drops that can be used to further help you in fishing. The Tier 5 area grants you access to a new NPC, the Angry Fisherman, that lets you start what is basically just a fishing slayer quest, kind of somewhat in between Wolf and Enderman slayers in difficulty. This new fishing slayer will also have a new enchantment, a new talisman, and a new weapon. The new enchantment, Double Bait, which drops from the slayer boss, and when you put it on a fishing rod, it has a small chance to drop a normal fishing loot whenever you catch a sea creature. And that includes things like treasure. The enchant starts at level 1 with a 20% chance of happening and goes up all the way to level 5 with a 100% chance of happening when you catch a sea creature. And the Double Bait and Talisman is very similar to the Double Bait enchantment, as it gives the same perk, but you can use it with every fishing rod. These could make just normal fishing with a high sea creature chance better than without sea creature chance for things like treasure and even dyes. And finally, the weapon for the fishing slayer will be a fishing rod, actually. It will have two abilities. One is the sea creature bulwark. You get defense against sea creatures for killing them. And the second is an ability that deals extra damage when you pull the fishing hook out of a mob. And as with all the other Slayer weapons, it will also deal more damage to sea creatures and make you take less damage from them. And the 6th tier area will have more custom mobs and bosses exclusive to that area to make it a good area to grind up fishing XP. And finally, the 7th tier area grants you access to the final and main boss of the flooded caves, the cavern serpent. The cavern serpent is a large sea snake that lives in the most flooded areas of the cave, making it almost completely underwater fight. To attack, it can charge at the player, wrap itself up around them, even occasionally drag down players that are trying to get air. When it's successfully killed, it drops items that can be used along with other items from the foraging island to make some of the best cloaks in the game. Doing something like this could make foraging and fishing engaging for the players. In fact, they could even add something like tree roots in the flooded caves that could be mainly a foraging item that the players can find. But those are just my thoughts. Let me know in the comments below what updates you think fishing needs, and if you can't think of any, just comment your favorite cookie instead.